Our lesson today is on consistency. Consistency in faith between your words and your actions. If one is going to live by the word of Jesus Christ, you must live it consistently. You may use your faith to help others. This is how Jesus wants his word to spread. But you must be consistent between your words and your actions. You can't be for Christian values on one issue and then violate those same values on the next breath. That shows your supposed faith to be false, to be merely put on for the show, like a sheep's clothing put on by the wolf, and then the ravenous wolf takes it off that clothing and shows his true colours as he goes through the flock, eating the lambs. Inconstancy and inconsistency are the case in the recent laws against abortion, when these same alleged faith leaders advocate all persons to arm themselves with guns, to shoot down anyone who dares to enter this country illegally, and also to arm themselves at church and in children's schools, so as to defend our rights of liberty. These are not Christian values. This is in fact demonic. This is a poorly described ravenous wolf in a poorly fit sheep's coat. Christ would not allow the carrying of firearms by any person for any reason other than a single firing weapon used only for the hunting of food for your own family, or perhaps for the poor. Nor would there be any allowance ever for a Christian to kill another person. Every politician advocating for both support for firearms and in the single same breath abortion control is merely advocating slavery and control of women. Women as property rights, just as the thoughts were for 50 years ago and prior, when rape of a spouse was legal, as was beating your spouse, so long as the stick was not thicker than your thumb. That is where the phrase rule of thumb comes from. I doubt if you will ever use that phrase again. These people are no more Christian than is Satan, for they are evil and debased at their foundation. None is clean. Not one follows the teaching of Matthew 25:35-46. For not one is attempting the missionary work of that scripture. Not one. But you all do. I know you do. If any of you listening owned any weapons, it had only be a single firing hunting gun, nothing more, as that would be the only permissible gun by God, used only for hunting, for what you eat, or you plan to donate to the poor once it is properly dressed. No trophies to glorify the hunt or death. And you assist the lesser folk to get food, drink, clothing, housing, and healthcare. For that is doing the same for Jesus Christ. And it is an absolute ban on handguns. No handguns at all. That is a specific exclusion There are no handguns. These are designed for one specific evil purpose: to end the life of another human being. They do it very efficiently. They are used more in the egregious sin of self-termination than the termination of another, at least in the United States. But that only increases the reason why no Christian household must ever own a handgun. And if any of you listening, or any of you reading this, are now thinking anything about your rights as a citizen of the United States, Satan has already entered your mind, and he has already started to turn you from Christianity to one of his soldiers. No Christian, upon hearing that Christ would find something of this era anathema, forbidden, against all of the teachings of the faith, no true Christian would then argue or debate. Only those under the sway of a false prophet, a leader that is of the netherworld and is a wolf in sheep's clothing. In this particular case, that devil's plaything, that succubus, is the NRA and its president, Wayne LaPierre. This evil organization was created by Satan to cause good people to turn away from their love of Christ, love of the light and life-affirming things, to adore, embrace, and pleasure themselves with darkness, death, and all things that glorify death. Guns, bigger, faster, and more powerful guns. Guns that can kill things more powerfully and quickly. To what end? Once it is dead, it is dead. But this is to seduce you deeper into the darkness, so you can't think to escape until after your soul has become forfeit to your new master, to your new demon master, Satan. Use this in every other lesson of faith as your opportunity to grasp the light. Get rid of the glorification of death in your household, in your life. Give the guns to the police department. No benefit from them must be received. You cannot sell them. You must give them away to the police department, and only the police department. No other person must be brought under Satan's glory. No other person must be brought under Satan's power by you turning the guns over to them. Choose life. Turn to the light. Choose your faith. Choose love. Christ is calling out your name. He's calling and calling and calling, reaching out to pull you back from the abyss. Answer his call. Reach back to Christ.